So it's been a while since I made a video, so I'm thinking now's the best time to do it. I have tomorrow off, so we're gonna go on a small adventure up the mountains. Kind of what like my last video was, but I'll be telling a few things along the way, kind of what I got up to during the days that I had off. Yeah, should be fun. Come along for the ride. It's exactly 9:05 p.m. on Monday night, and we're just currently pulled up at Glenbrook car park, and we're just chilling, just grabbing some refreshments, having a muesli bar, having some water, just stopping just to give a bit of an update. Tonight I'm heading up the mountains to go do some stealth camping in my car, get a good advantage to be able to wake up to a cool sunset and be chilling in the morning. I got some food with me, got my my stove top. Should be making some breakfast in the morning, got some bacon and eggs. So I'll pretty much be taking you through the night, my journey, pretty much how I stealth camp and how I jump in the back. And so that's what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys enjoy. It's about 18 degrees now, but I'm expecting it to be about, I think it said it was about 7 degrees at around 1 o'clock, which is pretty cold. So I got double layering, double warmth up in here. Got a doona, got a pillow. So I'm pretty confident it should be pretty cozy. So yeah, hopefully the morning's really cool, really nice, and hopefully you guys enjoy. One last thing I really wanted to share that I found was one of the best purchases I've ever made for any car, this car, a car in the future. It's actually a DC power inverter that I charge all my equipment with. It's pretty cool. It plugs into a cigarette lighter and it charges a laptop, camera battery, sorry, and pretty much any equipment that has a Australian AC adapter. And I recommend it if you don't have one already. It just keeps you going for a lot longer rather than just finding a power point at a pub or a club or something that you run while you're driving, and it's perfect. I wish I had a bigger one that had 2 inputs so I could run a couple things at the same time. Does everything I need. One thing to be careful about though, which I've done once, is I left my car off while charging a laptop and I actually got a flat battery once, and that was a pretty crazy story. So you got to be really careful, not trying to drain your battery. But at one point, hopefully when I do get a van, I shall have a solar panel, so that should be awesome. Something to rely on the sun's rays, so harnessing all that and putting it into my equipment, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of what I wanted to share, so if you're familiar with Blue Mountains west of Sydney, it's about an hour's drive. There's a pretty popular location people usually visit for photography. It's called King's Tableland. And I'm currently out there right now because I saw a potential opportunity for maybe a pretty cool photo. I'm not really too sure what the conditions are like right now. I haven't quite made it there, but I'm heading out there right now. This is one of the methods I like to take upon trying to take a photo, is not really knowing what I'm getting myself into, throwing myself into a position where I have no idea what the conditions are like right now, but this is the whole fun of it, you know, trying to get out there and just do something. We're gonna go try that right now, see what we can come up with, and hopefully I can take you along the way. Sweet, so it looks like we've got it all to ourselves. See or hear me, but we're out here right now, and it's looking a little bit cloudy. There's a lot of cloud cover. It's very rocky, it's very dark and slippery, so I've got to be pretty careful. Using a little torch that I have right now to light my face. Can't really see where I'm walking, so I will stop that. But I'm going to try and get a photo out here. There's a pretty cool rock formation with a cloud opening. I can see a little bit of stars, so So basically I think we're finished out here. Got a couple of photos that I think might be okay, might be something I can use. But yeah, it's getting a little bit cold, so let's keep on heading down the road. Let's do it. Now, I've driven up to the Blue Mountains a lot. I've recently continued to notice this overpass walkway bridge, and I've always wanted to come to it, so I'm using tonight as a good opportunity. Let's go have a look. Okay, as you can see, we're out here now. It's kind of cool. There's some weird patterns and shadows and created by this. So like I was saying, there's some weird patterns and weird shadows on the concrete that's just behind me, casted by the street lights just on the other side of this fence. So we'll see what we can try and produce. It's really cloudy at the moment, so it might be a pretty flat sky. I think there's something here. Let's have a look. So that was a lot of fun. Heading off now because it's getting a little bit late. Did a little bit of light painting just then, used a little torch that I have. I'll quickly show you, and I don't know if you will be able to see. It's a little Bear Grylls torch actually. Kind of handy, kind of useful, fits in my pocket real nice. Let's head off to our camp spot. Let's do it. Now, we've made it to my regular location where I normally camp out for the night. I'll show you what I normally do. So I out my spot, I use a driveway, then I go stealth, and I go all black. I tap my brakes lightly, find my location. Once I've found it, I reverse in. My brake lights give me light in the background. I know this area quite well, so I know I'm being really safe. Back all the way up to the fence, quickly pop it in park, handbrake on, engine off. And that's basically it. Here we are, we're just at my camp spot. It's getting pretty late. I'm not too sure what time it is, I'll check. It's about 11:28 at the moment. So I'm gonna guzzle some water, maybe have a quick snack, jump into bed, and I'll chuck my fisheye on to show you what it looks like when I jump into bed, and then I'll see you guys in the morning. Make out quite overcast this morning, not much of a sunrise. Bit of a shame, but that's okay. The rest of the day is going to be quite unique in the sky. Probably a lot more gorgeous light during the day, and after this we're going to go fill up the tank. It's looking a bit empty. Go pick up some eggs, and we're going to make some breakfast. So I'm currently out at Hardgraves Lookout, just about to set up my breakfast cooking station this morning. There's a cool little kind of stone little cabin just at the top of this hill that I'm gonna go sit inside. So this is just a small inside view of currently where I am. It's a pretty cool lookout. It's almost like 200 degrees lookout. Got a pretty good clear open view just here, as you can see. But I'm setting up a time lapse just in a moment because there's a cool light opening just over there. The sun's shining on some of the mountainsides. But I'll show you my setup in here. Hey, so I'm currently recording this on my photo booth on my laptop because both of my cameras are occupied. My iPhone is currently taking a time lapse just outside of the sky. I'll show that in a minute. And my camera is currently importing some data to free up some space. But as you can see, I'm making some breakfast, making some bacon and eggs, and just chilling out, just hanging about. So basically, I'm just chilling out after breakfast. Just probably going to give a slight update on what I kind of got up to on my days off, not videoing, not vlogging. So basically, I work a retail part-time job, which gives me scheduled work. This gives me randomized days to allow me to do part-time travel as well. So part-time work, part-time travel. So that allows me to venture off on my randomized scheduled off days to head out kind of wherever I want, because it kind of gives me the opportunity to, which is awesome. So what I did after the last video that you saw is I headed down to Kiama Downs, which is just north of Kiama Beach, and took my 1000th Instagram photo, which was really exciting for me. So I kind of wanted to make it big. I kind of wanted to do something different that I've never really done before. And I've been recently playing around with Zippo fluid. I don't really recommend kind of treating this like a toy. It is dangerous. It is flammable, so you do have to be very careful. But I was playing with that that night with a fire stick within a cool beach cave. So that was a lot of fun. I'll show you some photos of that as well. I stayed overnight and made it home the next day for work. I think I worked a couple of days, and then after that I had a randomized day off. Headed north up towards Catherine Hill Bay, spending 2 days up there. Well, 2 nights and in all up 2 days as well. So once I did that, I did a solo adventure out at Ghosties Beach, which was amazing. There was no one around for miles. It was just before sunrise, and it was quite spectacular. So I have some photos of that as well. And during the day, I had to wait around for this cave to kind of lower in its tide, because the tides are the sunsets and sunrises at the moment, so high tide both ends. I waited a couple of hours for the tide to set, and then headed into the cave, took a couple cool photos, just playing around with some cool compositions, and you know, playing with water as I always do, just making it look all swooshy and or ghosty and kind of like foggy almost. It's good little fun to play around with. And after that, I had a mate join me that night. He drove from Melbourne that day, which is about it's about 1,000 k's south of Sydney. He made it all the way up to Catherine Hill Bay in his work van, and stayed out the night with me. Oh, actually, before I move on, I ended my day in on Chain Valley Bay. This is a little jetty, long jetty. It's not really the longest jetty, but it's this cool one that I usually kind of venture out to just on a day off. And there was an awesome sunset I probably won't forget anytime soon. Some photos of that as well. And then after Chain Valley Bay, I then headed back towards Catherine Hill Bay, obviously to meet up with my friend that had driven up from Melbourne that day. And we were delighted with the thunderstorm over the Tasman Sea, which was pretty spectacular. It lasted all through the night. And so we got a couple images of that with the wharf in the foreground. It wasn't too cold that night, but it was cold in the morning. It was something cold. I can't remember the temperature, but we were freezing, and we still got up anyways at about 6 o'clock, headed out for the 6:55 sunrise, and we spent that under the wharf that morning, getting a couple cool snaps, a couple cool shots, playing around with water as always, just taking advantage of the light and obviously the morning off. So we got up for that, headed out for breakfast, and then went home from there. It's pretty awesome. That was actually a couple of days ago, so that kind of fills in the gap of what I've been doing in between these last two vlogs. Yeah, so the reason why I haven't been videoing in that time was I created 13 vlogs that ended up being 75 gigs worth of data, so it was quite larger than I actually expected. So I wasn't really prepared for that. Also wasn't really prepared for the work that I was in for. There was a lot of time where I was heading home, and before sleep I was doing a 3 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour sometimes edit of these videos. They take a lot of time just focusing in and realizing there's so much detail to producing something that's slightly entertaining. So I wasn't cut out for that, and it also made me stop thinking about my Instagram, and I was worried about that. So I kind of took a step back to rethink my approach about how I can potentially do this, and I think that's given me a good little break on how I may achieve these videos, as well as continuing on with the things that I'm already doing. So that's something to look out for, and pretty much my goals that I really want to do with this and my Instagram is to travel full-time, remove my part-timeness and become full-time travel. And by 2016, which is 2017 is actually next year, and I plan to be full-time in a van. So that's my goal. I will do it because it's something I'm really passionate about. Travel, photography, good times, just enjoying it while I'm here, you know? That's what we're all here to do, is to enjoy the time for ourselves and for the people around us as well. So that's basically it. That's my update for this morning. Today what we're going to do is probably go check out some cool spots, play around with some cool effects. I do have a one more smoke bomb left that I may be using. Grabbing some lunch, finishing my coffee, enjoying this beautiful time lapse that should be rolling over right now. So thanks for being along for the ride, and I appreciate you. Take care. So I'm currently out at Lithgow Valley Reserve, and I found some old railway tracks just on the side of the highway just here. It looks kind of cool, so I'm probably gonna go check it out. We're at this pretty cool spot just here. This is a part of Clarence train tunnel up in the mountains at Zigzag Railway. This is the opposite end that I usually come to. I didn't know this place existed, so it's kind of cool. I'm going to try and use it as an opportunity to get a fire stick going. Got some dead grass and a stick, zipper lighter, remote shutter. I was going to have to go down a little bit, but should be fun. So I've come out and stopped at this really old train line that connects to Zigzag where I just was. Just driven up the road about 200 meters and pulled into this side dirt road. I can't really drive through it, so I am going to put on the hiking shoes and hit the track, literally. So as you can see, I've made it to the spot, and it's actually really awesome. I didn't think this was it, but I just stumbled upon it. I just followed the tracks and I made it here, so sweet. Hey, so that's it for here for now. I'm currently running out of battery and water, so it's the best thing to head back, go cook up some lunch, edit these photos, see what they look like, put this footage together, and hope you're enjoying your Tuesday, because I sure am.